Tonight we're diving into the dark truth behind history's so-called Leper King. He was crowned at 13. He suffered from one of the most feared diseases in human history. His body failed him, his skin rotted, his hands turned to bone. But his mind, sharp as steel, his courage, unshakable, and his legacy, still echoing through the walls of Jerusalem. This is the true story of Baldwin IV, the Leper King, a dying boy who ruled with wisdom, fought with brilliance, and defied both disease and destiny. In the late 12th century, the Kingdom of Jerusalem was a Christian outpost in a hostile land. Born from the bloodshed of the First Crusade, it stood surrounded by Muslim powers who wanted it gone. By the time Baldwin was 9, his tutor, William of Tyre, noticed something strange. Baldwin would injure himself during play and not feel it. No pain, no reaction. It was a terrifying sign. Leprosy. In medieval times, leprosy was not just a disease. It was divine punishment, a curse. Lepers were shunned, forced into isolation, and stripped of their identity. But Baldwin was royal. He could not be hidden away. The kingdom needed him. The diagnosis was kept quiet, but the boy's destiny would be anything but silent. When Baldwin's father died in 1174, the crown passed to him. He was just 13 years old. No one expected much from the boy king. Many assumed he'd be manipulated by nobles until his disease took him. They were wrong. Baldwin had a keen mind and a quiet strength. Despite his illness, he took control of the court, reined in power-hungry barons, and forged a path forward. But outside Jerusalem's walls, a storm was brewing, and it had a name: Saladin. Salah ad-Din Yusuf ibn Ayyub, known in the West as Saladin, had risen from general to sultan. He unified Egypt and Syria under a single banner. He was intelligent, strategic, and above all, devout. His mission was clear: take Jerusalem back. In 1177, Saladin launched a surprise invasion. With over 25,000 men, he crossed into Baldwin's territory. Baldwin was just 16, sick, and outnumbered. He had fewer than 500 knights. Most expected him to flee, but he didn't. Baldwin launched a daring counterattack near the town of Montgizard. His forces were few, but they struck at the heart of Saladin's army, tired, overconfident, and spread thin. Baldwin led from the front, wrapped in bandages, face half covered to hide his illness. The result? A miracle. Saladin's army collapsed. Thousands died. The survivors, including Saladin himself, barely escaped. It was one of the greatest Christian victories of the Crusades, and it was led by a dying teenager. Baldwin's legend was born that day, but his condition continued to worsen. Leprosy is relentless. Baldwin began losing the use of his limbs. His hands curled inward. He could no longer walk unaided. His eyesight dimmed. His face became severely disfigured. Still, he ruled. He read treaties, led councils, planned military campaigns. He was a scholar, a tactician, and above all, a king. But his biggest challenge wasn't Saladin. It was inside his own family. Baldwin's sister, Sibylla, married a French noble named Guy of Lusignan, a man Baldwin distrusted deeply. To Baldwin, Guy was rash, arrogant, and unfit to rule. Yet, if Baldwin died without a male heir, Guy could become king through Sibylla. So Baldwin made a desperate move. He had Sibylla's young son, Baldwin V, crowned co-king. He acted as regent, effectively bypassing Guy. It was clever, bold, but temporary, because Baldwin was dying. By 1184, Baldwin had lost the ability to speak. He was blind. His body, skeletal and scarred, barely held together. And still, he tried to rule. He formally removed Guy from the line of succession. He begged European powers to send help. He sought peace with Saladin when possible, not from weakness, but foresight. Finally, in 1185, Baldwin gave up his title. He could no longer go on. He died later that year. He was just 24. After Baldwin's death, the kingdom fell into chaos. His nephew died mysteriously within a year. Sibylla seized power and crowned Guy of Lusignan king. In 1187, Saladin invaded again. This time, the Christians were led by Guy, and the result was catastrophic. At the Battle of Hattin, the Crusader army was destroyed. The True Cross was captured, and soon after, Jerusalem fell. Everything Baldwin had preserved through courage, diplomacy, and sacrifice was lost within 2 years of his death. Baldwin IV was not a conqueror. He didn't build an empire. He didn't live long. But what he did in the face of death was extraordinary. He ruled a kingdom under siege. He outwitted his enemies. He held off one of the greatest military minds in history while dying. This is Raw Historian, and if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more history content. Thank you.